Join us in Season 6 as we travel some of the Karoo regions of South Africa. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. The regions we will be visiting in this episode are the Hantam Karoo and the Roggeveld Karoo. Our route plan for day 3 was to leave the Tankwa Karoo National Park and make our way north towards Calvinia. Then, on day 4, we'd do a loop in the back roads of the Hantam Karoo region. Day 5, we will travel to Williston, then pass through Fraserberg, finishing in Sutherland. In this episode, we leave the dramatic landscapes of the Tankwa Karoo National Park and head north on some light sandy roads into the Hantam Karoo region. We overnight in Calvinia, explore the back roads and farmlands and capture vivid storm footage. Then move east via Williston, Fraserberg into the Roggeveld Karoo and Sutherland.
We've just spent 2 absolutely glorious nights at one of the Elandsberg cottages in the Tankwa Karoo National Park. And Craig and I have said several times during our stay how absolutely beautiful it is. And it's probably the most beautiful accommodation that we've ever experienced in sand parks. It is really big sky country, vast open spaces. For some people, it might be considered to be quite featureless, but I think just in that, it just gives the place such incredible character.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. I mean, Tankwa Karoo is something that I've always just either ridden through on a motorcycle or we've passed through various parts of it in the Jimny. But yeah, having stayed in the Karoo National Park, I mean, it is vast. We only saw springbuck and last night's little steenbok. But we didn't see any of the other animals like oryx or the mountain zebra, but it is a massive park. They can be anywhere. There are no predators, and it's just unfortunate because it's a national park. We weren't able to drone to show where the cabin's situated. But again, that might also disturb the other people there. So national parks, no drone footage. But we've actually just come through the national park gate right now. So yeah, we can drone from literally this point onwards now. We can drone because we're outside the park. So that's exactly what I did. Putting up the drone gave an incredible aerial perspective of the vast Tankwa Karoo region. So my original plan was to leave the park and then go out and take a gravel road that goes right down across the Doringrivier and into the Addo Valley. But then we're kind of going out of the boundaries really of the Karoo. So the Great Karoo and the Fraserberg are kind of butted up against each other. But if we start going down across the Doringrivier into Addo Valley, then we're in sort of Fraserberg territory. We are actually heading up towards Hantam Karoo now, which is going up towards Calvinia. So we are going to go not straight up on the R355 because we'll be in Calvinia then within an hour. We're going to take one of the other smaller gravel roads. It's called the South Road, and that South Road joins up with the main R364, and from there we'll go up and meet the TAR, the R27, and then we'll take the TAR to Calvinia. And then we'll refuel, and we're going to be looking for some self-catering accommodation in the Calvinia area tonight. And we might spend 2 nights there so that we can explore the Hantam Karoo region now. And this is the region where it's very famous for its lamb. Hantam lamb is the most incredible lamb, and we're going to talk a bit about that in the next few braais.
So I know I've said this a few times. I've called this the South Road, Sate Put, but it's actually Soutpan Put. So my mistake. I just didn't zoom in close enough to see the name of the road. So this is the Soutpan Put, and that joins up with the R364. That takes us to the tar road, the R27 at Calvinia.
With storms brewing on the distant horizon, we suspected it was going to be a wet afternoon in Calvinia. It seemed like there was a big storm in Calvinia. We just missed it as we pulled into our self-catering accommodation at Klein Plasie. But it looked like there was more rain to come.
Yesterday was a massive storm here in Calvinia, and it's not abating. Today and tomorrow, apparently just rain. So we've looked, all this whole area is raining, down into Sutherland area is raining, so not a lot we can do today, but we're going to go to Calvinia now and see if we can find some breakfast. Doesn't matter. We're in a vehicle, of course, but it's raining.
We had a really great breakfast at Hantam House. In fact, Craig and I have driven past there so many times and we didn't know what it was. And it's a fabulous little guest house with an interesting museum, and the whole building dates back to 1853. And it's very classical inside, really, really lovely.
Next up, we wanted to get our hands on the best lamb in the country, Hantam Lamb. Calvinia Vleis is probably one of our favorite butcheries for certified Karoo Lamb, and the good news is they now have a branch in Somerset West.
So the weather's cleared up a little bit. We've just been out for a very late breakfast at Hantam House, and there's sunshine sort of breaking out over the mountains and that, and I think the roads won't have much mud on them. It should be pretty dry. It was a big storm, but that's over. So the plan is basically to go out of Calvinia on the R355 gravel road, and then take one of these little gravel roads that goes up around the back of the mountains, and then comes back down back into Calvinia. I don't know how far the loop is, yeah, maybe we'll be able to get some drone footage as well. There doesn't seem to be a lot of wind, so that's really as much as we can do today. And then tomorrow we're going to head to Williston, Fraserberg, and down into Sutherland for a couple of days in that particular region. It really was a good decision to come out. As we were driving out of Calvinia, it started raining again. I was thinking, but it cleared up pretty soon, and we're right now around the back of the mountain. In fact, this is called the Touring Road, and it's absolutely stunning. There's all this beautiful yellow bush. The sun is out, the sky is blue, and it's just really, really beautiful. So it's a really good little mountain loop to do for some incredible Hantam Karoo scenery. So it does look like the little road we're about to take is a private farm road, but it does link all the way through, and there's no signs that say private farm road.
It just basically says that it's going to a farm called Roggeveld. So we'll take it and see what happens. Come to a section of this road where we've ended up in someone's farm property, and the roads we're following have now veered off the actual gravel track that we were following. So we've got to go back to the first farm gate, and hopefully we can pick up where the other road is. So we found our way back. There was a turning that turned before the farmhouse that we didn't take. So we're now back officially on the gravel road that is on Tracks4Africa, heading away from the guys' farms.
It's important to know the farm gate etiquette when moving through farmlands with livestock. The rule is, if you find it open, leave it open. If you find it closed, close it behind you. If you find it locked, mark the location and please report it to Tracks4Africa so we can update our maps. The storm clouds were building up again, creating a contrasty landscape and vivid lighting. Beauty of having a drone is that, you know, when you travel with a drone, you can travel in 3 dimensions. So you're not only seeing everything on the ground, you can also go and have a look at the mountains up there. So, you know, I'm close enough to the mountain now that I can send my drone up, as long as it's not higher than 500 meters. That's the limit of my drone. But I can go up there now and go and fly along those cliff edges and go and see exactly what it's like. These old farmhouse ruins probably date back to the early 1900s due to the use of clay-formed bricks. You can see no cement was used, and the bricks along with the clay have been disintegrating over time.
As you can see, was spectacular. And as we came around the corner now, just on someone's farm, we've come across this giant field of onions. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, they are like those massive sunflowers that you sometimes see. Totally gorgeous. such a wonderful thing to photograph with these rocky mountains in the background, these incredibly dramatic skies. It is spectacular.
With the continued rain, our plans for the Karoo Lamb braai were washed out. We'd have to save it for Sutherland. Eventually the storm eased off, the sun broke through a gap in the clouds on the horizon, and the light was magnificent.
We're just leaving our accommodation in Calvinia, Clan Classy Self-Catering, very lovely spot. I think they have 4 units. And we are heading to Williston and then off to Sutherland. So we're going into some areas that we've never been into before. Yesterday was quite a highlight. As you will have seen, we came across an incredible field of onions in the sort of back farm roads of Calvinia. They weren't ordinary onions, they were giant onions, and they made for such a great display for filming and for taking photographs.
So to talk about the route today, what we're going to do, the first stretch to Williston is just over 100 k's. It's all tar, so last night I repumped the tires, and there's still tar going out of Williston as well. And our planned route is quite an easy one today. It's from Calvinia to Williston, and then it's gravel from Fraserberg coming into the back of Sutherland. So we didn't want to use the same that we used before. So we're just going to take a different route into Sutherland, and our plan is to be in Sutherland for 2 days. Hopefully the skies are clear and we can get a chance to visit the SALT, the South African Large Telescope. It's just celebrated its 20th anniversary, and there was quite a big event this weekend. So hopefully in the next 2 days we can get to visit the telescope, because I've never been there. I've known about it and I've been in Sutherland many times, but never actually been to the telescope.
And we're hoping we can get some breakfast in Williston.
Well, that's the goal. Yeah, have some
We've kind
breakfast.
of run out of food. So.
Yeah, have breakfast in Williston and have a look around the town, and that's it. That's our journey for today.
Williston was first named Amandelboom, the almond tree, after Johann Abraham Nel planted an almond tree in 1768 near the Suck River to mark his son's birth. This later became the centre of town. The Williston or Amandelboom Dutch Reformed Church was completed in 1912. It features sandstone construction and preserved wooden interior and a notable pipe organ, making it a prominent landmark in the Karoo region. The 90-kilometre stretch of the R353 between Williston and Fraserberg is now 100% tarred. We plan to stop in Fraserberg for a refuel and to drop tyre pressures for the 93-kilometre gravel road from Fraserberg to Sutherland. Hopefully we'd make it before the big rains. It was good to be back on the gravel again, but we could see the storms brewing in the direction of Sutherland. The rain had already started by the time we arrived in Sutherland. It was a short and intense thunderstorm, and when the sun first broke through, the most spectacular rainbow revealed itself. Despite the rain, I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to get my drone airborne above Sutherland to capture the spectacle of the rainbow over the church. For lamb to qualify as authentic Karoo lamb, sheep must be born and raised in the Karoo regions and be 100% hormone-free.
The sheep must have grazed on veld containing at least 2 of 11 specific indigenous fynbos shrubs, including silver karoo, skaapbossie, kapokbossie, doringkapokbossie, to mention a few on the list. These are some of the fragrant bushes that sheep graze on, which imparts a distinctive and desirable flavor to certified Karoo Lamb meat. The Hantam lamb rib chops we bought in Calvinia are AAA grade certified Karoo Lamb. We start by skewering them all together, ensuring that the fat layer is even. Once on the fire, you can cook them bone side down or fat side down first, but regular rotation is required to ensure even cooking, and the meat will pull in the flavor from the lamb fat dripping onto the hot coals. Once the fat is charred and crispy, you can lie them flat in the grill and finish on both sides. Join us in the next episode where we drive a 160-kilometer loop from Sutherland into the true Roggeveld region. Then we start the next leg of our journey, venturing through Moordenaars Karoo, over Rommelkop Pass and through Merwewald. Our final destination for this episode is the Karoo National Park outside Beaufort West.